quicker, faster. But God always looks out for me, and He always shows up and shows out in my situation and turns it around. I end up with the bonus, I end up with the promotion, I end up with the raises, and I can still be who I am in God. So Joseph did the same thing. Joseph stayed true to his beliefs. He stayed true to God, and he was elevated even in slavery. Now, just like with any situation, you're going to have the devil. You're doing well, things are going right, and the devil's going to come in. That's his job. If the devil had a resume, he would have 3 categories on it. It would be stealing, killing, and destroying. And the devil, unlike us, he doesn't slack off. He doesn't take any sick days. He doesn't come in late. He doesn't leave early. The devil's always on his job. He's persistent. He's going to keep on. All the time, exactly. He's going to stay on it because his job is to make you fall to lose the favor. So here is Joseph in this house. He's in charge of everything. He's got authority. And the devil pulls out one of the tricks from his bag. And one thing I always learned growing up is the devil doesn't try to normally get you with this crazy off-the-wall stuff. He pulls up things that he knows work. So in this situation, he said, I'm going to use a woman. Because how do men, a lot of men stumble? By a woman. So he used this woman, and not just any woman. He used a woman in the house. He used Potiphar's wife, someone that he knew, someone he was familiar with. And that's the same way it is in our situation. The devil will use the people closest to us. Because strangers, they don't bother us too much. But when it's your family, when it's somebody you work with all the time, when it's someone that is close to you, those are people that can get to you. So he used Potiphar's wife. And she was very persistent. Joseph, every day, Joseph, come be with me. Come lie with me, Joseph. And Joseph constantly said no. And that's how we have to be. It can get tiresome sometimes. It can get frustrating. You know, and that person at work is picking with you and keeps messing with you. They're trying to get a rise out of you. They want you to say some words that you haven't said in a long time. You have to keep holding true to God. Because I know I used to, you might not know, but I used to have a potty mouth. I did. Uriah can attest to that. Before I got saved, I used to say those words. I still remember those words, but I choose not to use them. Because I can say Jesus. Now, Joseph kept on and he kept telling her no. And finally, the situation got to a boiling point. Like most situations do. They get to a point where you're on a cliff. And it's now or never. It's time for you to make a decision, a choice. And in this situation, Joseph, he could have done a lot of things. He could have said, you know what, this woman has been after me. I don't have a wife. There's no one in my life. I'm alone right now. It's been a while. And he could have given in. He could have said, let me wait on Potiphar to get home and let him straighten this out. I'm just going to kind of just take the back seat. He could have went along with it for a little bit under the guise of maybe I'll sneak out later and, you know, I'll make her think I'm going to do it. But no, Joseph decided to leave. He said, I got to go. His action said, I got to go. He didn't even worry about, let me get my coat, let me get this, let me get that. Joseph simply left. He gave no room for the devil. And in situations in our lives, we have to do the same thing. Sometimes it's easy to sit there at lunch and listen to gossip. And we know it's disturbing our spirits, and we know it's getting to us, but we don't want to get up. We don't want to cause any ripples. We don't want to offend anyone, so we sit there. But sometimes I might not be able to grab my lunch, my juice box, a lunch bag. I might have to just say, I gotta go. If you're in a school situation and you're in class and people are about to cheat and they're about to do these things, I might not be able to get my sentence together grammatically and, you know, let me excuse myself. No, I might have to just simply get up and say, I got to go. If I'm on the phone with somebody and they're calling me and they're trying to stir up dissension and mess and they have me dragging me through these things, I might just need to say, I'm going to pray and I got to go and click. You know, sometimes you just simply have to say, I got to go. You can't sometimes stay in a situation and allow the devil to work on you because the longer you sit there, the more you might say, well, it gets harder. So sometimes you just have to go. Don't worry about the grammatical, well, I need to leave right now. Just say, I got to go. And then when you go, it might not always work out. When Joseph left, he got thrown into prison. He did the right thing and he ended up in prison, but what happened later? God took him out of prison and elevated him once again. So when we leave these situations and allow God to, the knowledge that God has given us to guide us out of a bad situation, God always comes in and he will take care of us. So simply, I gotta go. Pray my strength in the Lord.